to you live from the mountains of smoke. Firekeeper recovery bringing you hope. If you're living in darkness, look for the light, cause the fire is burning and they're helping you fight. It's the firekeepers, the firekeepers, 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 firekeepers. Recovery, bumpin' BG, talk recovery. Firekeepers, firekeepers.
Count it down.
Yes, sir. Let's go.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome all my crazy natives and non-natives to Firekeeper Recovery. I'm Brant.
Bumper Smith.
And this week on Firekeeper Recovery, we're going to talk to you a little bit about self-forgiveness. That's a big topic of conversation on the res this summer. I think a lot of people's moving into new phases, but maybe don't feel worthy that they deserve it. And maybe it's just because you need to forgive yourself, maybe forgive your past a little bit. So we'll get into that today with our topic. But before we do, did you have anything last week you want to check in?
No, I had a pretty good week. It's routine, harping on that routine. That's the foundation for every day of my recovery. Weekend was great. Saturday, went with my sister and all of our family to Dollywood Splash Country.
Oh, yeah.
Man, it was pretty awesome. It was pretty great. My nephew got tickets on the cheap, and we all loaded up and went.
Heck yeah. Little summertime fun.
Yeah.
It's always good to get a little family activity. Heck, I had a good weekend myself. Just a lot of, like I said, doing the routine of just staying regular, doing the positive things I've been doing. A lot of work on negative self-talk. So been a lot less of that. Just more encouraging, like you are doing good and things are happening for you. Just keep going.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a lot of practice. So with that being said, a lot of that has come with a lot of self-forgiveness that I've had to learn. Because I did take a lot of blame for a lot of situations that I probably didn't even have control over. Just because you were in the vicinity or involved, like friends or something, you like take ownership of it, or if you had some blame in it. And of course, you might have had a little bit, but there's enough blame to go around.
Yeah.
And the person making the choice ultimately holds the most, I think.
Yeah. Even to the extent that you take on guilt that may not be yours to take on, just out of solidarity. Like, if it's somebody that's close to you, like you don't want them to take on the whole burden of it alone.
Yeah.
And so out of some strange notion of, I'll take the blame on with them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's because if your buddy's hurting, especially if it's like lost a kid or something like that, you won't because you can't really compare with it, so you want to just take a little bit of it off. So maybe
share the pain.
Yeah. But I guess ultimately what you get to with forgiveness, well, what does it mean? And forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting.
No.
And forgiveness means that you accept the behavior and you accept what happened and are willing to move past it and move on without ruminating.
Yeah.
And you cannot be changed. But one therapeutic approach that self-forgiveness suggests is that there's the 4 R's: responsibility, remorse, restoration, and renewal.
Yeah.
Them are like some of the things that really have helped me. It was like, take responsibility for what you can. Have remorse for your actions and what they may have caused.
Yeah.
Then restore, which means repairing the damage and then restoring the trust to you.
Yeah, making amends.
Yeah. And then renewal, that's focusing on after you've made that amends. It's like, now what are we going to do to move forward, not keep rehashing those every time something happens, well, you did this, well, you did this, that is never a good thing for like a relationship, but just a family too. So.
Yeah. Anytime old sins are constantly thrown up in someone's face, it's hurtful. It may be true, but it's hurtful. It doesn't allow that person to really move past it. It's almost like it comes from that old saying, hurt people hurt people.
Yeah.
So there's some of that, but with accepting the responsibility, it doesn't mean, like you said, doesn't mean forgetting.
Yeah.
You're not letting yourself off the hook, but you get to a point, for me anyway, I got to a point where I accepted, I messed up, a lot, really bad for a long time. Accepted it to a point that even if you are reminded of it, whether directly or indirectly, it doesn't have the effect of where it's wounding you emotionally, and it makes you second guess your progress, or even want to throw in the towel or anything like that. You get to a point where not so much that you're used to it. It could be that, but just that it is what it is. Nobody can go back and change the things that they've done. It's best to accept it. Yeah, you made these mistakes, leave them there, and then see what you can do about it moving forward.
Yeah, that growth, that's about what it is to grow up too. It's just like learning how to learn from mistakes.
Yeah.
Just small ones, like, all right, don't do that again. But this is only like in your recovery or whatever, I guess maybe, but recovery is, it's life and death at the end.
It is.
That wrong choice could take you back all the way to nothing. And that's kind of the number one reason for me that sticks on my head whenever I think about the forgiving myself. Is I did those things, but now, well, if I hadn't forgave myself for a lot of those things, that could drive me back. And that addiction, all them steps will ultimately lead me to death or just bad places.
Yeah, stuck in a like a bad spot. You're in a bad way, just in a rut. You can't dig yourself out of it or get yourself out of it, and the shame and the guilt is what prevents you from asking for help. Because you think, why? Well, who would want to help me? Look what I did. Why would anybody care? Why should they care?
Yeah.
I deserve what I've got, what's coming to me. Whether or not that's true, it's still, there's talking about it and getting therapy about it and trying to work your way through it to the point where you're immobile in your recovery. Like, for example, whatever it is that causes you to feel this way or think these thoughts, the acceptance of it, the radical acceptance of it, it is what it is. You can't change it. You can't change it, but what you can change is everything moving forward.
Yeah.
In your life. Whether it's incrementally, leaps and bounds, or step by step, whatever it is.
Yeah. And I think we get caught up in the words too, like, what does it really mean to deserve something? Like, do we even deserve anything at all? But what we have is life and what we're doing right now. So anything else is extra, I think. So I think a lot of us get caught up, I deserve this, or all them perceived rewards that come with doing certain things.
Yeah. Just deserve, it has like this, it comes with this, or maybe the same thing is it's based on merit.
Yeah.
If you work hard and you work hard consistently, maybe you get a bonus or you get an award or something, you deserve that, you've earned it.
Yeah.
And also, if you've broken some laws, you get arrested and taken to jail for it, you know, you did these things and it's what you deserve to be in there. But when we're talking recovery, for me, if I have to make amends with what I've done every day. I mean, every day I get up, the effort I put into not making those same mistakes ever again, that's allowing me to move forward. And it's from that point, the things that I do with my life going forward, I do deserve all the good that's come from these changes that I've made.
Yeah.
If I were to keep allowing things from the past to hang over my head and weigh me down and to dwell on those things and just feel like shit all the time, it would be difficult to make the progress that's possible in recovery.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it comes along with like another tip I've learned for forgiving yourself is like focus on the emotion. And before you can move forward, you need to acknowledge and process the emotion.
Yeah.
And you get stuck in them emotions and that I'm mad, so you're just mad all the time. And you're like, well, how do I not be mad? And I can't find how to break out of it. So, yeah, so then you're like, well, how do I get out? Well, I celebrate. How do I celebrate? Well, I used to drink to celebrate. So,
yeah.
So that's just like
becomes another means of justification.
Yeah, and that's why I think forgiving yourself is that important, because every time you don't is another justification for why you can use or maybe not use, but at least make a bad decision.
Yeah, make some risky choices.
Yeah, it can be like a domino. But just like a domino, when they fall, you can at least knock that one out and stop that whole chain from falling.
Yeah,
Once it's going, it's not like a snowball. Once it's going downhill, it's going downhill. But at least
stops.
Dominoes, you can at least
interrupt it.
Yeah.
And when it comes to, the emotions you were talking about, you have to feel those emotions, good or bad. You have to let them process. You have to experience them and feel them. The trap that I know is probably likely for a lot of people, but the thoughts create the emotions.
Yeah.
And then the emotions reinforce the thoughts, and so it's like this back and forth between your thoughts and emotions, where the emotions give this impression that your thoughts are absolute concrete reality. Like I just know that it's this way, that it's like that it's going to be this way. When really it's just they're just thought forms. They're no more real than I don't know, the other side of space.
Yeah, theoretical.
Yeah. I mean, and conversely, if you're able to make that change, like with the positive self-talk you were talking about, the negative self-talk is something that I know I used to do a lot. Even like if I was, like when somebody tells you, hey, you're doing great, you're doing a good job, in your mind you're like, yeah, but then you can tell them, yeah, okay, thank you, but in your mind you're like, man, am I really doing that great? I mean, why am I getting congratulated for just doing what I'm supposed to be doing anyway?
Yeah.
But changing that type of thinking into positive self-talk, those positive thoughts, create positive emotions. And so you can get that back and forth between positive thoughts, positive emotions,
Yeah.
Just like it was with the negative stuff.
Yeah, because that has been something that was hard to learn. And to start actually taking that pride in whenever somebody said they are proud of you.
Yeah.
Actually taking that self-pride, but I am proud of myself too. Instead of always
doing pretty good.
Yeah, instead of always be like, man, if they only knew, or I'm doing all right today. But you always had an excuse. There's always, and that's always just that same thing of guarding against. You don't trust yourself either early in recovery, so you're just let me quell expectations just in case I relapse or fall out.
Yeah.
So I don't break everybody's heart.
And that's probably part of the real embarrassment, or the shame that comes from, let's say, if an individual's doing well for, a good period of time in the recovery, like maybe they got 6 months, maybe they got a year, a couple of years, and then they have a return to use, and, that's whenever the embarrassment of that can be so great that it, kind of really stops them from re-engaging in services, and interrupting that fall of the dominoes.
Yeah.
It's understandable to the extent that you have everybody congratulating you, everybody, oh, you're doing great, like you're a role model in the recovery community, Brant. All this stuff, which is true, and then, something happens, and a return to use occurs, and then you starting with yourself, man, all these people thought I was doing so good, all these people were like looking up to me, and I've just fucked it all up.
Yeah.
And now their opinion of me is going to be different. Maybe so, but that shouldn't keep you from, keeping going in your recovery.
Yeah.
And continuing on, because everybody's got opinions about everything, and the opinions that should matter most to you are your own opinions about yourself, your core beliefs about you, what you believe to be true about who you are. If you're thinking bad stuff about yourself all the time, well, I mean, it's going to play out like that,
Yeah.
It's going to like manifest itself in the real world. We were talking about that on one podcast a while back.
Yeah.
About manifesting your thought, an idea in your mind, you can make it a reality. It goes the same way with your mindset or your outlook or your attitude. It affects the real world.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Just like the past 6 months, where I've tried to change my energy, being more positive, more engaging. I know that I've seen the positive reaction from other people.
Yeah.
Instead of just always keeping to myself or whatever. When I go to meetings, I usually just went to the meetings to go to the meetings.
All right.
Well, I talk in the meetings. And if you're going to get something from me, you're going to get it in the meetings. I'm not trying to be a friend. I didn't want none.
It's all business.
Yeah, but then I got to put out the energy, and I've seen it. Yeah, but it has too been because I've seen the people in the groups change, so it has made me want to change my energy too. So yeah, I guess I was guarded because I didn't think they want as much as me. It's because they're not working like you doesn't mean they're not working.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I had to change that all. I know I was talking shit about people because I was probably jealous or projecting, like they were doing good and their shit, they were maybe doing better than me. So I'll talk shit about him. Look at that guy.
Yeah.
He's doing this or that, but he's actually doing this or that. So, yeah, so I saw all this stuff that I was putting out in the world, so I want to change all that. It's all right to joke around, but I ain't going to make fun of somebody for doing their best.
Yeah.
But I might make fun of them for wearing dirty clothes or looking goofy.
I think everybody's hated on somebody at one point or another. It's just it's part of being a human being, I guess. It's that's something I try to be mindful of. Hey, I'm not perfect,
Yeah.
But it's always better to, if you can, like you can't say nothing nice, don't say nothing at all.
Yeah.
But try to be positive, trying to, put out that positive energy,
Yeah.
People pick up on that,
Yeah.
Like when you walk to a room and like it's just a lot of tension, you can feel that shit.
Yeah.
And just like with positive and negative energy, people pick up on that, If you're always like outgoing and happy-go-lucky and, heck yeah, positive guy, people are going to respond to that, They might be having a terrible day, but then they run into you and they're like, this guy's happy. He's spreading the joy.
Yeah.
Be that change you want to see in the world, It wasn't a fortune cookie, Gandhi's face on it or something.
Yeah, that's why I'm encouraging a couple people that would that may not think they'd be good at peer support, but that's what they do. They capture a room.
Yeah.
They have that energy, so I think they could probably reach people. Just their personality is there.
Sometimes it's a challenge because you want to convince somebody that they have the potential.
Yeah.
You know, and every one of us has a potential to be more than what we are. You know, maybe some people don't want to be more than that.
Yeah.
You know, that's okay. You know, as long as their wellness is there and they're content and healthy, and if their purpose is to do what they're doing, then hey, more power to them.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that's something I've had to fight myself, being content. Because, yeah, I could probably be content right now where I'm at, but would I be? I guess that's the challenge. Because it is good right now.
Yeah.
Today is good.
Yeah. I think it's hard to be grateful and content with where you are in your progress, you know, periodically.
Yeah.
But don't get to the point where it becomes it becomes complacency.
Oh, yeah.
That shit'll bite you in the ass.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
One of the last few, I guess, advice that I found was have a conversation with your inner critic. That's what we've been talking about, a lot of self-talk.
Yeah.
The inner self. Notice when you're being self-critical, be clear about what you want. But this one, I think, is what I need to take to heart, is take your own advice.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff you can say, but it's really hard to put it into action. And that has really been that has been the success of my last 2 years, is putting all that we've learned into action. Because I did learn all that stuff, all that triggers, all that stuff. Everybody's sitting in early recovery right now. Why are we doing this? So 5 years from now, it's just in there.
Yeah.
And then when you need it, you're like, that's what they were talking about.
Yeah.
And it's wild. You'll find that out but yeah, just taking your own advice and putting it into work and being patient with it.
Yeah. It's got to work itself out in its own time. You know, giving advice without exemplifying that advice is it's like trying to explain physics to if you don't have the degree, and
to me,
it's like what are you talking about? I mean, you don't even do that.
Yeah, it's just theory.
It just takes any kind of impact out of your advice.
Yeah.
Good advice is good to put out there. But it's better if somebody can say, you know what, he gave me a piece of advice on this, and I can see from what he's doing that it's applicable and produces results.
Yeah, it's like telling somebody how to chop that tree down, but then, all right, here's the saw, and then you walking off.
Yeah, you gotta figure out how to turn it on. Don't cut your leg off.
Yeah.
How to cut it where it don't fall on the power line. All that good stuff. Yeah.
It's like right there against somebody's house.
I had a real clever line about the advice, but then I don't know, it just kind of took off. I decided to think of something else.
Like a lightning bug.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but the last thing I guess I found out, or I was reading about, it says it takes time, patience, and reminder to yourself that you're worthy of forgiveness.
Yeah.
And forgiveness is important to the healing process, since it allows you to let go of anger, guilt, shame, sadness, and any other feelings you may be experiencing, and move on. And once you identify what you're feeling and give it a voice, you can accept it, and that mistakes are inevitable.
Yeah,
it's part of life.
It's failure is part of success.
Yeah,
it really is that. All of the corny fortune cookie bumper sticker shit that you read, it's because it's true. It's corny, but it's true. It's cliche because it's true. I mean, it just is.
Yeah.
I used to think all those little sayings were stupid. It's stupid, but
and it's still hard sometimes to because like right now we could say them and we're feeling, but then when you're actually giving it to somebody and you say it, you kind of laugh like, I can't believe I'm giving you
Yeah.
this. That's real advice.
Yeah.
Keep working.
I'm saying this in all seriousness. You gotta go through it to get through it. Only works if you work.
You don't have to change one thing.
Yeah.
Everything. Like,
Yeah.
you do.
They are true, though. They are true.
But when you hear them, you're like, what?
I think whenever I felt like that, I was at a stage where, like, my problem was, when like the first time I went to Conwood Ye and first started trying to engage in recovery services, my mindset was like, man, these fools ain't gonna tell me, they ain't gonna tell me something I don't already know.
Yeah.
You know, with all this new age hippie type of like stuff. And it wasn't until I finally reached the point where I was like, well, you know what? The way I've been thinking about things, my efforts, my way of doing stuff just flat out ain't working. Let me give it a try. But once I started when I opened up to that possibility and just kind of bought into it, gave it a real chance.
Yeah.
Then with time and consistency, I always say that, time and consistency, you know, I could see that, man, you know, maybe they do know what they're talking about. Maybe this stuff isn't just nonsense, you know, maybe it has, you know, real scientific or philosophical substance, you know.
Yeah, I was the same way. I remember when I knew it all. When it was like, this is what you need to do. I know. So
Yeah.
Till you say I don't know.
Yeah.
That's
I
the
know. Well, if you do, then live like you do. All I know is that I don't know everything.
Right.
I know that for sure.
That was one of the things that I'd rather say to somebody is like, I have no answers, but I have questions. You need the answer.
Yeah.
You're not one to have the answers. I can't.
Question the answers.
Yeah.
Mighty Mighty Boston's reference, but
Yeah, I only know the one song. Dun, 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 dun.
the impression that I get.
Yeah, that's the only one that had a music video, I guess.
Yeah.
On MTV.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the guy that danced.
Yeah, I think that was his only role in the band.
Yeah.
Just the dance.
And now Dickie's on Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah.
I guess they still sing. But, yeah, so, like, just to put a thing on that, is like, if you grew up in the 80s and early 90s and watched wrestling, give yourself a Barry Horowitz if you've been in recovery, man. Remember Barry Horowitz?
Yeah.
Yo.
Pat yourself on the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you deserve it, man. You did it. You're doing it. So keep doing it. We're proud of you.
Every day in recovery that you make it through is a win.
Yeah.
It's a win in that battle against substance use disorder, and it's another day that whether you felt like shit or you felt great, it's another day you're alive and you're here with us, and you know, it's another day to get to the next one and do what you will with it.
Heck yeah. You got anything else on this, or?
No, that's about it.
Hey, I don't know anything coming up this week, or I know at the end of August is National Overdose Day, the 29th. There's a lot of events going on around.
Good.
I don't know. We're not saying nothing about that.
And I also, you know, have people in here that can find the time to come and do the podcast with us. You know, everybody's busy. Everybody's got their own lives to tend to and stuff to do. So, but if you want to come on,
hey,
you know, let us know. Shit, I'm out in the community every day.
Yeah, and we'll make time for you.
Yeah, we will schedule it.
And we'll come to you.
Pencil you in.
We're pretty mobile.
Yep.
We're
on podcast show.
We're sitting outside of a church right now because this is central. It's easy for people to find. So yeah, just holler.
And it's in the shade.
Yeah.
So it's nice. But anybody, I get, you know, at whatever stage in your recovery you are, you know, contact us. We'll talk with you and see about letting you share your experience, because everybody's experience is valuable, regardless of what stage you're at. in your recovery.
And that wasn't freelance. That
You know what I
was
used to
the fire
hate?
truck.
You know what I used to hate? Like police cars or an ambulance or a fire truck go roaring by somebody. Well, I hope it ain't bad. Like, do they ever go somewhere when it's good? You know, like in a hurry like that.
You know, though, well, I'm getting off the topic, but like, do you remember, like, I don't know, did you grow up with the damn scanner?
Yeah.
That was like Twitter before social media.
A list of 10 codes written down on a piece of paper taped to the wall.
Yeah, mom and them. Oh, then they hear something. We better go down the road and check it out.
There'd be people calling out people's names, you know, and their addresses. You got the 10, yada, yada, yada. Look, check the 10 codes. Oh!
That might be a subject coming up on the next, or we're starting a new podcast.
And they get on the phone and be like, hey, I heard such and such is happening so and such place. And then there it goes.
Around.
That's how everybody knows your business in Cherokee back in the day.
Now,
Scanner. Now call neighbors.
Now everybody puts their own business on Facebook.
Yeah.
I'm mad at this person. I hate you. This is why.
This is what's going on in my life. You'd be like mad because everybody knows your business.
But anyway, it's a nice week. Nice conversation with you, man. Always with you. So, with that being said, this is Firekeeper Recover. I'm Brant Grant.
Bumper Smith.
And as always, we'll leave the light on for you. Eastern Bay, Cherokee, Firekeeper Recovery. We the firekeepers, the firekeepers, the firekeepers, the firekeepers. Yeah, coming to you live from the mountains of smoke. Firekeeper Recovery, bringing you hope. If you're living in darkness, look for the light, cause a fire is burning and they're helping you fight. It's the firekeepers, the firekeepers, 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 firekeepers. Recovery, bumping BG, talk recovery.